Broadcast. We are live in 5. Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the finale of GGRC Season 14. I'm host Arakan, and I'm joined this week in the commentary box once again by Devil's Hound.
Hello.
And this promises to be one close finale. We've got fights at the top of the grid for every single class this time. So we have quite a good turnout this race as well. So for the pro class this evening, we have Pim2407, Dotanito, Raf PG7, and Keplero, who is somewhere a bit lower. I need to find him. There he is, he's still in the pits. He hasn't come out yet for some odd reason. Oh, there we go. He's just moving out of the pits in this qualification session. In the mid group, we've got Lucas, who's currently leading the mid championship by 5 points, and then we've also got Ritz. There he is, 9th place or 2nd in the championship, 5 points behind him, and then we've got RSK, 3rd currently in the championship. Also out for this evening. Behind him, we have GGRC Ender. Right next to him, both going through the outlap of the quali stage. We've also got MLS on tap as well, rounding out the back of the mid-pack. And for the final sector, we've got BDZ, we've got Nick, we've got Leo K, we've got Loves Hell. Oh yeah, Loves Hell's in the lower group. I'm forgetting why he's doing that. And of course, we've got Z now. Rounding out our 14 drivers on the grid for this evening. So, sorry, well, anything to mention?
You question why Lovesell's in the lower group, yet I think he's in a very heated battle between himself and Nick.
Yes, actually, that's a good point. Currently, Nicholas is leading the AM Championship by 2 points, 63 to 61. So, essentially, whoever wins out of these two drivers this evening will be crowned the winner of this championship. Who do you think's going to be the winner this evening, do you reckon?
I think it's all up in the air. Depends what happens during the race. I think, however, you should start paying attention to the qualifying. Pim currently on his first in-lap of most of the pros. Yep. Pim doing the least fuel spent. Oh no, he's spent a fair bit of fuel. Keplero having the least fuel spend.
Well, Keplero's been out for the least amount of time on circuit, so that's kind of
true. Raf's had a crash.
Oh, has he?
He's got front damage.
That's going to be that lap for him gone. He's only going to have one more chance to get that lap time in, and hopefully.
Speedy Z has also had a crash. Rear bumper damage and rear right corner damage. Do you reckon that was related?
Potentially. It might be that Raf went straight into the back of him. That would explain the where the damage is. As we watch Pim come around.
Would.
Yeah. As we watch Pim come around that last corner with a 1:47.5. That seems to be a pretty quick time. But we don't know yet what's going to happen. Let's watch. Does need to come across the line with a 1:47.7. Only 0.2 seconds a lap slower, but he did take the wider line on the exit. So it might be that Dotanito is really trying to hit this lap to make this lap really count for the second one. Obviously, Raf isn't going to do a good one here. What about Keplero? You can see him here coming through 130R into Spoon. That is 130R, isn't it?
Wasn't looking at Keplero, so I can't confirm. I'm keeping an eye on other people on the grid. That's
understandable. Let's have a look into the mid group right now. RSK is currently on provisional pole with a 1:49 dead. He's 0.7 seconds ahead of Lucas, which will be very good for him, actually. He might make a move up into second place at the end of this race, especially considering Ritz's position. Currently 4th in class with a 1:52.2, but there might have been an accident earlier on in that qualifying session. Did you pick any of that up?
No.
Well, I say no. Kep's just taken provisional pole with a 1:47.3, but don't forget Kep's got very little ballast in comparison to the rest of the grid. So this could shift things up.
He may have no ballast, but I don't think that's the case. I actually think there's only about 40 kilos between Raf and him. But we'll see what happens.
You say they kept getting held up in traffic there just behind Z now. That's probably gonna. I might ruin his secondary qualifying session. Yeah, 0.6 seconds down in the first sector, so it's everything to play for. As you watch Pim come across the line, not quite making pole this evening with a 148.6, which is only going to damage his chances of making a comeback on RAF this evening. Let's watch Sotonito. He's done a 148 dead.
Kepler has 1,035 kilos of weight, the same as Dotonito, and Pim only has 1,058, and Raf has 1,069. So there's only about 34 kilos in it from top ballast to bottom ballast.
So you watch Raf coming around the last corner here. Is he going to make a mark onto this? He's going to do a 148.3. That puts him last on the grid, unfortunately. And with Raf leading the championship by only 2 points, that's not a good outlook for him this race. Considering what Raf's been doing in the last few seasons, Raf has come second to Pim in the last 3 seasons he's raced with him.
Mm-hmm.
So Raf is going to have to pull off a bit of a miracle here tonight if he's going to win this championship and take his second GGRC title. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Well, I heard that Raf was uncomfortable with the ballast, and that might really be affecting him. But it's 1% more than Pim, and there's 40 kilos in it, top to bottom. I think it will have an effect. I think part of it may just be the fact that the other participants can practice during the week and Raf can't.
Potentially.
A bit of stress and a lack of practice don't help, especially since it's in context at the start of the season. People like Pim and the others in his class weren't really trying. By the final, I think they really want to give it their all. So all of a sudden the field's changed. You've no longer got Pim training for 5 minutes before the race. It's now at least an hour. Also, you haven't put stream link in.
Oh yes, that's a good point. I haven't bothered with that yet because I was busy watching and commentating the mid-pack.
Okay.
That's not a big deal. Let me just quickly copy that into the Discord. Okie dokie, right. So, as for the mid-pack, it looks like RSK came on pole with a 149 dead. Very good from him. Ritz actually made a much better work of his second lap. Half a second behind RSK, but second in class puts him... Well, that's exactly where his position is. Lucas, who's currently leading the championship, is only is third in class, or 149.8. And Ender, 1,000th of a second behind in fourth in class, or 149.803 in comparison. Looks like MLS might have had a problem with his quali. 54.4. Oh. Maybe not. There might have been a bit even more of a problem.
We're going to have to manually set the grid. Do you remember what position he was in?
He was back of the class. We don't need to manually set the grid. We're doing a rolling start anyway. That's not a big problem.
That's a fair point.
As for the AM class, we've got Nicolas on pole with a 2 minutes 0.9, so a pretty good lap from him overall. Loves Hell, who is right behind him in the championship, only 0.2 seconds behind him with a 2 minutes 1.1. Not doing too badly. Leo K, third in class with a 202.5. Pretty good overall.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Very good, actually, considering Leo's usual pace. I feel kind of bad for it there, but I think we're okay. Zenout, fourth in class with a 203.9. Pretty normal, I'd say. Pretty normal. Pretty solid lap overall. Running out the back of our class, we have BDZ with a 209.6. He must have run into quite a lot of issues during his qualifying session, and that is quite unlike his previous session at Monza. Where
he's the one that had the damage.
Yes, he had some damage with RAF earlier in the qualifying session, so that makes more sense.
So we believe.
MLS is out on track. Hopefully, we should be all right. GTL and drivers, let MLS through. Look at your current position when you're approaching the grid so you know on which side to park. So, Nicolas, you'll be 10th on the grid, so you start on the right. MLS will be 9th, so we all start on the left. Remember, odds left, evens to the right, ladies and gentlemen. Is everybody ready?
Okie dokie.
Seems
Looks like we're getting ready to go into it.
Let's get ready.
What kind of strategies do you think we're going to see? Do you think it's going to be a 1-stop or a 2-stop or 3?
Well, I expect more stops this race, considering it looks like the entire grid started on softs this race. Oh, maybe not. We've got Leo K, Znow, and BDZ all starting on the mediums, but the rest all started on softs, so I'm expecting a pretty aggressive drive from most drivers today, which should result in some good racing.
I think it was the incorrect tyre to go for someone like Raf, who's concerned about his ballast. If you're concerned about your ballast, I think he should have started on the medium, because he would have qualied last anyway in his class, and then have clean air. The front 3 would pull ahead. He'd have clean air to just race, whereas the front 3 would all get in each other's way. I would have gone for the medium and do a medium undercut on that stint. But hey-ho.
Alright, so these drivers out on their parade lap. So, Kepler on pole, which is very good for him, considering he's been out for a few weeks. Do you reckon he's managed to do a bit more practice over the case?
He is usually very committed to his practice. It's hard to say. This might be a track he's good at. I think historically he's done okay here. He's done better than average.
Makes sense, considering... I say though, Kep's been a pretty solid driver overall. I mean, his lack of attendance hasn't really worked out for him. He's currently third in the championship with 46 points. He can't really go up or go down unless one of the other drivers disconnects, but that's quite unlikely. However, third overall for this season for Kepler is still pretty solid. You can't really go wrong. I think Kep's racing for pride this race, and also to maybe disrupt the rest of the championship as well.
It will reduce the potential point delta between Raf and Pim.
Yes. Speaking of which, we have Pim currently in second place, hoping to rack up this will be his 5th championship potentially for GGRC, would it?
Season 5, Season 7? Yeah.
No, I think Willie won Season 7.
In Group 3?
Yeah,
it was
Willie
Group
won.
3-4.
Yeah, Willie won that one.
Season 8, Pim won.
Yeah.
So that's 2. Season 9, Pim wasn't in. Season 10, Pim didn't win.
Yeah.
Season 11 was... Group 3? No. Season 11, 12, 13.
Yeah. Yes, that's probably... I expect that's where he came through, and Raf came second in quite a few of them. Because I remember Raf coming second a lot during that whole season. That would be fine. Dotanito, third in class. We've seen some very strong showings from him in the finals. Do you reckon he's going to pull off another upset?
Hard to say. His ballast is now equal with Kepler, so we've got that to contend with.
Yeah, it could be put in his place this race. And of course, Raf, currently leading the championship at 4th. He's going to have to pull off a miracle today as we watch the drivers finally line up on the grid. So that's
There we are. Cap doing a nice job.
That's doing well, good. That's doing very well for him. Right, let's just watch BDZ and Znow line up on the grids.
Raf doing a small burnout.
Of course, these drivers really want this burnout, don't they? So let's just watch as the final drivers take their positions on the grid. Still trying to figure out precisely where their points are. However,
well, you see, Raf doesn't have a box.
Ah, that makes sense. Right,
anyway,
let's just put in the 5-3 numbers. And let's get ready to race. Let's ready, and away we go for the Crow class. Kep gets a pretty decent start. Looks like Dotanito as well as Raf. Let's just watch the mid-class going off. That goes RSK. Rich getting a storming start. Taking the lead very early coming up into turn 1. And let's watch...
they're going 3 wide.
Where's this turn 1?
And someone's off.
Who's that?
Lucas is off on T1.
Lucas off in T1. Oh my god, I can't really see what happened there. Let's just have a look.
Ahead, Raf's overtaken Dotanito, and Kepler is already behind Pim.
Yeah, Pim must have had a brilliant start as well. Let's actually go back over the replay and see what happened here at the start. So there's Pim and co coming up into turn 1. Pim had the inside of Kep into turn 1, and Kep looks like he backed out. looking into the middle of the grid, Ritz obviously had an absolutely barnstorming start. It looks like Lucas was pushed wide into turn 1. As for Nick LS, he definitely had a very good start. Loves Hell in pursuit. Looks like he went on the inside there at turn 1, but pretty clean start from the Pro class. Pretty clean start from the AM class. As we watch the rest of the grid moving up as they come through 130R and up into Spoon. Pim's taken a half-second lead over Kep. Looks like Raf's overtaken Dotanito, which will be very good for him. Coming up through Spoon and down towards the back straight over the bridge. So let's think about this. We're looking in Raf's position right now. Raf is really wanting to go aggressive, I reckon, on Pim. It's going to be. I think he'll fight tooth and nail to the end, but he's still got a bit of traffic in the way.
I think that Raf, if I were in Raf's position, I would have gone for the opposite strategy, taken the clean air, put in some really good laps, because his car is heavier.
And just go for a more conservative strategy.
Yeah, and not even conservative. I'm saying just go on the opposite of everyone else in the class. Don't get slowed down. Dirty air is terrible in these cars. You do lose aero trying to follow another car. It wears your tyres out faster.
Well, not only that, these cars are exceptionally twitchy as well, so moving in and out of aero as well would probably...
Yeah.
Oh, you'd lose traction.
I would have started on
early.
the mediums. I'd have happily dropped back on the mediums right at the start and then caught them, because they have to swap on the mediums when you'd go on the softs, and you could blow past them. Especially since he qualied last, and he was pretty sure that was going to happen anyway.
Suzuka's also a very technical track, so high tyre wear would have been only a detriment.
Yeah. Potentially.
So we'll have to see how Raf copes later in the race, but right now he does not seem to be in a favourable position.
So far we've already had quite a separation across the grid.
It does seem to be the case. The gaps between the drivers are only increasing a bit. I think it's 0.8 seconds throughout, aside from the gap between Kep and Pim. 0.6 seconds is the gap, but Kep obviously on lower ballast, so he can take advantage of that lower weight coming out of the corners. As a result, it looks like Raf's slowly dropping out of that slipstream zone. It looks like a second is now the gap between those two drivers. Let's have a look a little further down the class. So Ritz, obviously with an absolute barnstorming start, is currently leading this race as they come through what looks to be... What's that? I don't know what these corners are, man. I'm a little bit concerned here as they come up through Casio Triangle. Not too bad between it. Ritz currently leading, and Lucas, actually. Lucas is far down. He is currently 4th in class, so as the way things stands right now... In fact, no, he's not 4th in class. Lucas is right at the back of the grid after being thrown out at turn 1, so he has it all to do here. And Ritz, right now in his current position, is currently online. Looks like a little bit of a fight here coming up into the S's. Ritz playing on the inside. Ender currently in hot pursuit. But as things stand right now, Ritz is currently on track to win this championship for the mid tier, which will be very good for him. I think this will be his first individual championship for him. And I say, almost about time. He had a very good debut with GGRC, did Ritz, finishing 2nd, I think, in his first race.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be a very good start. A little bit of contact there between Ritz and Ender. Ritz, whoa! Hitting the wall there. That is not good. Ritz currently with no damage, surprisingly. I don't know how on earth that happened, but it looks like...
RSK saved him.
Here comes Ender up the inside. He definitely has. It looks like RSK is going to cut the inside. Ender takes the lead in the mid-class, and RSK is going to come right up behind Ender, sorry, not Ender, Ritz, and potentially drop Ritz all the way back down to 3rd place, which might take him out of a championship position right now. Never mind that, RSK actually, RSK is only 4 points behind Ritz. I mean, overtaking him to come up into 2nd won't change the overall championship position, but if he takes the lead of this race, that could really shake up the championship grid. See MLS as well, actually. Looks like a little bit of a fight here between MLS and RSK. MLS obviously in the slipstream. RSK comes up the inside playing defensively. He's coming up the inside of Ritz. Not quite from him, but it looks like there'll be a little bit of contact between MLS and RSK after the exit of the Casio Triangle due to RSK's mistimed attempt as they come up across the line into lap 4 of this race, or lap 5 if you're being like that. Oh, it looks like, hang on, looks like there's been a bit of an incident up here. Hang on, let's fall back a little bit. Looks like there was an incident between BDZ and maybe a little bit further on the grid. Let's have a look here. I thought I saw someone come off track here.
Likely Loves Hell.
Yeah, potentially. As watch these guys coming up into Spoon. Yeah, it looks like it was Loves Hell. He's just pushed off into the wall. That looked pretty poor. I'm not sure quite what happened, but it looks like it was between Loves Hell and... Who was that? Was that Zeno? Or was that Nicolas? It might have been Nicolas.
That's what your replay's for.
I suppose, but I didn't quite get it in time. Watch Loves Hell. He looks like he's had a mare. He's pulled over to the side of the track, unfortunately for him. And that might just be the end of that championship run for him.
Yeah. He's given up.
He's given up. So that means that without that, it looks like Nick has won the AM Championship.
Yep.
Which it's an unfortunate end.
Ritz and Enderman, look, Ritz and RSK.
Ritz and RSK, there's 3 wide coming up into Spooner. MS up the inside, Ritz going very wide, Lucas coming up the inside. A little bit of contact once again between Ritz, Lucas, and my god, that's the whole grid. Ritz has gone from the top of the grid to the right at the back. Let's have a look at the replay here. Did I manage to grab that? You see, yeah, Ritz getting pushed very wide here. A little bit of contact between him and Lucas as well. That's pushed him right back. It's unfortunate for him, but right now it looks like RSK is the best out of that grid as we watch those 3 coming wide into the last corner. Just watch Ritz in the slipstream of Lucas. Lucas playing defensive, but also trying to go offensive against MLS. Looks like Ritz coming up the inside into turn 1. A little bit of contact, but it looks like Lucas let off, letting Ritz through into turn 1. But it looks like Lucas is going to try and go for a little bit of the cutback. Not quite, maybe, but a good move from Ritz, regaining position 8th in class. But the 2 drivers still side by side going through the S's. Both drivers not giving an inch to each other. Crikey. What do you make of that, Vev?
Close.
Close. I'm not sure what else we can say here. The 2 drivers side by side coming up into what's that? I forgot, it's not Lesmo. What's the other one?
Just say coming into a right-hander.
Coming into the 2 right-handers. I should know what they are, but I don't know what they are. Good, as I come up to the top hairpin. Ritz currently leading.
Do you remember
those 2.
Who was involved in the crash of Ritz along here, where Ritz ended up going wide in that corner after it?
Was there a crash? I didn't really see too much.
Yeah, because he got rear-ended. Remember? He went onto the grass and came on the track when RSK bumped him forwards.
Oh, yes, yes. That was between MLS, Ritz, Lucas, and RSK. I think there were 4 drivers involved.
That's just the entire class.
But Ender was miles ahead, and it looked like Ritz went. There was only 4 drivers involved.
One of them bumped him wide.
Yeah, it was Lucas who bumped him wide at the the exit. I don't really think it was too much. You see the 2 drivers still battling out, coming up into Casio Triangle. Ritz playing defensive. So you watch Lucas try and make a move around. Here comes Lucas making a move around the outside. Is he going to hold it? Looks like Ritz is trying to play him narrow, but he's going to have the inside coming up onto the straight. There's a bit of contact. Whoa! Lucas having a very big contact. Ritz going wide for courtesy purposes. Trying to let Lucas back through there. It looks like good sportsmanship from Ritz, especially considering he had quite a lot of wheel spin on the exit. That is very unfortunate, but it's between those 2 drivers right now, and anything can happen right now between them. That being said, well, these are the 2 championship leaders right at the back of the class. RSK, mind you, is currently 2nd in class. And right now, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough. I'm not sure what the points distribution is right now.
Oh, a gap between Cap and Pim's getting close.
Let's have a look here, actually. Yeah, the 2 pro drivers right now. Pim is miles ahead of the rest of. Well, I say Pim and Cap are miles ahead of the rest of those 2. It looks like Raf's already dropped that. He's 12 seconds behind Pim right now, which is only very detrimental to his current championship hopes right now. And considering, looking at the rest of the tyre, looking at the rest of the attire wear, it looks like Raf's the worse for wear as well. So
he's got 1% more than Pim. They're both pretty similar.
Never mind that, but looking at the tyres, looking more at the tyre
Yeah, that's what
wear
I'm saying. Pim has more than Kepler or
here comes Pim. Here comes Pim coming into the pits right now. Dotanito also following.
I really think Raf should started on mediums. I just feel like starting on the softs was a waste. He burned his tyres out because he was pushing hard at the start to try and keep up.
You see Raf going into the pits as well with the most fuel, but it's not really going to be enough to gain too much time.
Also, you're saying how much worse his tyres were. Compare Pim and Raf's tyres. They're near identical. They just swapped ends of tyre wear. Pim had more on the front and Raf had more on the back.
Well, which do you think is more important, really, in these cars?
Well, it doesn't really matter. The point was, his tyre wear wasn't drastically worse, to be honest. He genuinely had.
What I'm saying here is
3% more on the rear, and Pim had about 5% more on the fronts.
Well, what I'm saying here, though, Vev, is that these cars are obviously especially twitchy. So I'm just not sure whether you think it's more preferable to have the wear on the front or the wear on the rear as we watch Pim overtake Ender coming up through the left-hander. I think
it's 100% more preferable to have more wear on the front, wear on the rear. You can control wear on the front with the brake balance. If you set the brake balance to the back of the NSX, you die. If you set it to the front, it just makes your front tyre wear worse.
Potentially.
So you can control front tyre wear quite easily.
I can see that. Looks like Keplero as well, being the only driver to stay out. Do you think he's going to go in? Maybe go for
100%.
You'll go in this.
He went for an overcut so that his mediums are going to be fresher than everyone else's.
Never mind that, he's actually got slightly more fuel than Pim as well.
Raf has been going so slow that I understand they haven't pitted, but the mids are ahead of Raf.
Well, there's only
that is a first, I think.
Not really, it's just Ender who hasn't pitted.
Yeah, but I mean, as in that's quite impressive. I think it's our first mid we've had ahead of the pros after they've pitted, or after lap 7 or 8. Kep's come in.
Let's have a look at him here. Let's see what tyre he goes on to. Pim actually went on another set of softs, which is quite surprising. The rest of the grid actually went out on medium, so Pim playing very, very aggressive this race. Let's see what Keplero does.
He's trying to get into clean air.
He comes out on a set of mediums. There goes Pim. The undercut seems to have worked for him as Pim regains the lead. But he's also on a soft set.
Set, slightly less fuel.
Yep. So he's gonna put the hammer down. And looking at his lap pace as well, he's currently with the fastest lap of the race, so 147.1. So very good for him. However, both Pim and Kep have quite a lot of clean air to contend with. So I think anything can happen here. I think both drivers have only got themselves to blame if things go wrong right now. Let's move around a little bit. So Ender's just popped out of the pits. He's currently 1.3 seconds ahead of RSK on a fresher set of mediums and far more fuel, actually. That being said, though, Ender does have no ballast for this race, if I remember correctly. Can you confirm?
No, Ender does. No, Ender has no ballast. You're correct.
In comparison to someone like RSK, who currently third in the championship right now, but second in class. So I need to have a look at the points distribution really, because right now.
Well, RSK's car is 22 kilos heavier than Ender's. The heaviest car in their class is going to be Lucas. Yeah.
Lucas, and he
has 1,155 kilos.
He's currently fourth in class. So. Right now, let's have a think of it here. So, currently, well, it looks like Ritz has really pushed himself out of this race, considering he's now back of the class and 2.7 seconds behind Lucas. He's also on a set of mediums. I think they're running a pretty similar strategy. So, right now, it's Lucas's position is all to play for here. That being said, Lucas being fourth in class and RSK second in class, what's that do to the points delta?
I have no clue. You're the one that should be dealing with that.
I mean, I don't have too much data.
I don't have the points table.
I don't have any data. I've got the points. I've got the current leaderboards. We watched Leo K just pop out of the pits there on the left-hand side. It looks like BDZ actually. Let's have a look a little bit further there. Was there a problem with BDZ earlier in the race? I'm not sure.
Not that I remember.
BDZ came out on another set of mediums, which is quite interesting.
Nope, all his times have been pretty consistent.
Aside from BDZ,
Oh, he
had a
span in
232.
quali, didn't he?
Yeah, BDZ had a 232
That was his pit lap.
actually. Oh yeah,
that was his pit lap.
Of course. Leo K out as well. He's on a set of softs. BDZ on the mediums. Quite interesting choices. Nick has also pitted. Currently third in class. If you watch Raf overtake him on the inside through that top hairpin. Not too bad from him. But Nicolas is currently in third place in comparison to the Belgian driver of Zena, who is still yet to pit. Quite characteristic of Zeno, I think. He usually likes
to do some ballsy strats.
He does like making his time. But what do you think? Do you think he's going to box this lap? You see Nick just in the back of shot there, only 2.2 seconds behind. So Nick really is in the provisional lead of this race.
I think he'll drag it out as long as possible, personally.
Oh, hang on. I thought I just saw an indicator. Yep, Zenow's put on his indicator. I believe he is coming in at the end of this lap. Yeah, there he goes. Here he comes into the pit. So Nicolas regains the lead for the AM class, and by quite some margin. It looks like, let's have a look here. 227 is the gap between the lead car and Leo K, whereas for Nicolas it's only 210. So Nicolas is currently winning this class by a matter of 20 seconds. That being said, we know
Harriet Gaming has pulled over.
He is pulled over. He is retiring.
He's retired.
That's a shame for him, and that's a shame for his championship hopes, unfortunately. He's going to finish third in class at this current stage, unless Ender pulls off an impossible win here. I say an impossible win, it seems very possible. 1.1 seconds is the gap between himself and
his
RSK.
win is, but his championship win definitely isn't.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I suppose so, but at this point, Ender can move up to third in class, potentially. Actually, no, what? No, it won't be. There's only 5 cars. He will gain 20 points. Surely not. He won't gain 20 points. I need to have a look at this points delta, man. I really don't know what I'm seeing here. Any fights you can see coming up on grid?
No, not at all. We've got some overtakes going on. Ender's about to have to overtake. I think that could be Nick.
That does look like Nick, yes. I'm just watching him here.
A really poor area on the track as well. What a shame.
Oh, he's right behind him there. Nick has to be forced wide. Looks like RSK is really going to have to come back here.
Oh, that lost Ender a fair chunk of time, though.
Looks like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
And because of that, it looks like RSK is starting to come in the slipstream range.
However, Zeno and BDZ Appa now really group it up.
Let's have a look here. Zeno coming at the inside of BDZ coming through Spoon. Looks like a decent overtake from him. Zeno on the soft tyre in comparison to BDZ's mediums. Oh, BDZ going a little bit squirrely on the exit. Nothing to be worried about, I would still hope. 2 drivers still holding on relatively well. As for the top of the grid, it looks like Pim is currently... He's on the soft tyre in comparison to everyone else on the mediums, but he's currently made a 3-second lead over Keplero. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that's enough right now.
I think that Kep's medium pace is astonishing.
Look at 148.3, and say that, Kep's medium pace, his last 2 laps have actually been... I say his last lap, but his last lap was actually quicker on the mediums in comparison to Pim's soft, so...
I mean, like, amazingly, Ref's got a 148.1 with his ballast on the mediums.
Again, yeah, maybe the softs.
That's the fastest of the recent... I know, one of the fastest of the recent laps.
Maybe the mediums were the better choice here. As you said, actually, at the start.
Yeah, irrespective. Ref having a bit of a problem with sliding.
Oh, dear.
It's a shame for Raf. Such strong form all season, then destroyed by who would win? Raf, 8 kilo ballast boy.
Oh no, it's a bit of a shame, unfortunately. But it looks like right now Raf is really not in the middle. I think he's just trying to get to the end of this race and hopefully do what he can.
We don't even have safety car, so he can't even.
He's got nothing.
He can't even hope for a safety car like you could in F1. You could just dream that someone crashes.
That's unfortunate. Right, I've just got the points deltas up here. So for a win in the pro class, where it goes from first to fourth, it'll go 13.964. So as a result, looks like, well, Pim will win by quite some margin here. So it would, at the end, it really would be Raf has to, for Raf to actually win this championship. Currently, it's a 2-point gap right now, and of course, Raf didn't get pole. Cap got pole. So really, Raf has to win. There is no other way for him to win this championship. If he wins this race, that's the only way he can win right now. It's quite unfortunate. As for the AM class, well, say the AM class, the GT500s, the mid class. So 12.9754 currently is that. So in its current position, Lucas, so 12 points for a win for RSK. We're bringing up to 65, which means that no, is actually impossible for RSK. No, it's not impossible. It is not impossible for RSK to lose this. Was RSK on pole?
In his class, yes.
In which case, he's got 2 more points as a result for that. So if RSK wins and gets the fastest lap for his class, which could be anything, he's got a maximum of 15 points here, which will bring it up to 68. As a result, if Lucas finishes back of the class, which he... Oh no, there's only 4 drivers in this class now, isn't there?
Yes.
Okay, so if Lucas finishes back of the class and RSK gets his fastest lap and pole, he might win. I'm not sure. I need to confirm this, but it looks like RSK will either tie the championship with Lucas or he will win by 1 point. I'll have to do a bit of maths on that, but that will be very, very tight between them. Especially since these are the 2 newcomers to GGRC for this season. They've both done an absolutely astounding job in their respective class, considering it is their debut season.
Yeah, really, really impressive. Well, Dotanito also very impressive.
Oh yeah, don't count out Dotanito. He's had a fantastic few races. I mean, obviously he won't win this championship, but considering he's been racing for Pride and considering his resounding pace that we've seen in these finals, he's done exceptionally well overall. It's not bad livery either. Watch him coming down out of Spoon, down the back straight. So yeah, right now this is... Oh, that's been said though, we have a little bit of a fight on our hands between Kep and Pim, watching those 2 coming into Casio Triangle. Kep right on the back of Pim. Pim's actually just pulled into the pits. He's only on 12% fuel. Very good move from Pim, potentially. He's going to have to come out on
Lucas
the mediums.
and MLS further down the grid. Last time I looked, were pretty close. They've separated a bit now. But look at the tyre difference. Oh no, Lucas going wide.
He's gone very wide here. Lucas.
Also, MLS with way more fuel. I think MLS could have the upper hand.
That being said, though, MLS's tyre wear is far worse than being on the soft.
Running away with it.
So he's not really running away with it. Ender is currently winning this class. Oh, that being said,
Ender's so far ahead. I thought he was in the pro class.
He's only 2.5 seconds ahead of RSK, and also being
he's
on
got so much more fuel.
He does. RSK is going to have to be really, really well. He's going to have to be really aggressive because if RSK
Kep's gone wide.
Kep's gone wide. Let's have a look here.
You can rewind that about 10 seconds.
I'm watching this now.
Probably a good second and a half.
Let's watch him here. I'm watching him coming through Dunlop now. Coming into the first of those 2 corners. Those 2 right-handers. Yep. Just running a little bit wide. He's lost a little bit of time there. We'll see how that reacts to him later on in the race. So he's probably going to stay out a few more laps. I think the 2-stop might be the strategy to go for here. Kepler on the medium tyre, be it, well, I say that Pim had to really make use of his mediums considering the pace that Kepler had.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's gonna happen though. I mean, like, if Pim plays his cards really well, that medium stop could have been his last.
potentially, we've got, what's this, 9 more laps of this race? So those mediums are going to have to last roughly 40% of race duration, which actually kind of makes sense.
I think that's what... I guess that when Kepler pits, it'll be his last pit. It's just that he's waiting longer, because he's taking the mediums for second stint. Raf going... No, Raf's not going in. That's him done.
He's just...
I'm guessing Raf's going to try and take softs for his final stint.
That makes sense for him. I'm not sure quite what the plan is for Raf here. He seems to have a...
RSK dangerously low on fuel.
Yeah, he looks like he's... Yeah, Larry, watch RSK popping into the pits. 2%.
Lucas will also come in this lap.
Yep, looks like so. Oh, he's made a good move. What happened to MLS? Oh, MLS boxed. No, MLS boxed. MLS boxed. Don't worry,
I believe that BDZ also just crashed again, but didn't see it. Wasn't around anyone.
Let's just have a look to see if he did have an incident. Oh, yeah, he went wide at Dunlop. Looks like Leo K went for an overtake. Wide. So, actually, let's have a look here. MLS is staying out. Let's watch RSK here. RSK's just come out, and he is he's 4 seconds ahead of MLS. I was looking for Lucas, sorry. Oh, there we go. Lucas is refueling, but we don't actually see his car. What the hell happened here? Oh, no, there we go. That was very strange. But yeah, Lucas is currently 7 seconds behind MLS as we come down to the final sectors of the race. Lucas needs to overtake MLS for this championship. Because right now, it looks like Ender... Well, Ender's still got a box, potentially. He's going to have to go out on a set of softs, whereas RSK is already out on his set of softs and is going to start bearing down on that leader. So really, it's just a case of when it's Ender's race to lose here, and RSK's to win.
Something I think a bit fishy here. I think RSK's going to have to pit again. I'm pretty sure it's his second set of softs.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure he qualified on softs because he was pole.
Yes, everyone qualified on softs, but was he on mediums? If you watch the entirety of the rest of the grid going in now from their mediums.
Oh, right, you're saying this is the second stop. Yep, he's just had his second stop, never mind.
That's fine, let's just watch the entirety of the mid-grid. Here comes Kep coming out. He is 3.64 seconds behind Pim, but with... Well, he's got a softer compound, so he's going to have to start really reeling in the lap times for Pim to catch up. And we don't know... I'd say, looking at Pim's medium pace, that's not bad at all. 1:48.2 on his last lap. I reckon the mediums were the better. The mediums have been the better tires. You watch Ender coming into the pits now. There he comes. He's coming out of the pits now. He's on the soft tyre. Let's see where he is in comparison to RSK. 5-6 seconds ahead. RSK has got it all to do here. Ender winning this race will really put a dent in everyone's championship hopes. That being said, let's have a look at the overall lap times between these drivers, because I didn't really get any of them. And really, RSK needs the fastest lap as well, as Lucas finishing last in class for this potential championship win here. 5 seconds to gap, yeah, seems pretty normal to me. See, I'm just watching this group here. Kepler getting a little bit of lag on my screen. Anything for you? Well, it seems to have regained it.
Completely fine for me.
Yeah, it's just regained control. I mean, so, yeah, look at the gap between Pim and Kep. That's coming right down. Or is it? Maybe not. I might be eating my words here. 3.5 seconds is that gap. Let's see Pim in back of shot there. 3.4. This is going to be a tight run to the line, I reckon. Still watching here. Ender taking the inside on BDZ. No instances with the blue flag here. RSK! Having a look at it here. That gap is slowly coming down.
Whoa, Raf's off.
Raf is off. Raf is off. At turn 1, that's very detrimental. He was last in class, sure, but let's see what happened here. Let's watch him here coming down the pit straight. Ah, it might have been Leo K. Yes. Ah, Leo K broke on the inside and it looks like Raf had almost nowhere to go. That is a colossal spin out from him. Very unfortunate as well. And that might also wipe out Raf's chances of the fastest lap of this race as well. Very unfortunate.
What a shame.
It's pretty
so can you explain to me what happened?
Yes. It looks like, looking as they were coming out of the pits, Leo K had just come out of the pits. Raf was coming down the pit straight. Leo K broke hard before they got to the first corner. Raf misjudged that. Instead of trying to go thin or going narrow onto that first corner, taking the normal racing line as you should, Raf went wide coming into turn 1 and as a result carried way too much speed, forcing him wide, and that caused a spin out. So no contact between those two drivers. I just think it was a severe misjudgment from Raf. At least that's from what I saw. Let's go.
So,
hang on, Dotanito's just taken the fastest lap of this race with a 1:46.8.
that is a fast lap.
Well, it would be. It's the fastest one so far.
Yeah, but fast in context, I mean.
I suppose.
That's 0.3 seconds faster than the previous.
Very good, and that's taken Pim's crown. But I don't think it's going to matter for Pim here. There's actually, looking at the gap here, between Pim and Kep, there's only 0.5 seconds between those two drivers coming up into the two consecutive right-handers. I cannot speak today. He's watching Pim going, trying to play defensive. Looks like Kep trying to make a move, coming up onto the inside on the hairpin. Here comes Kep round the outside. Pim potentially. All two drivers side by side coming out into 130R. Kepro looks like he's made the move with his higher grip soft tyres and is currently taking the lead of this race. Fantastic from Kepro. As it coming here, it looks like Pim's not over yet. A little bit of contact between Pim and Kep coming into Spoon. No real pace loss there between those two drivers, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, fortunately. As much as I like drama, I don't think it's great for the drivers. Any comments here? What do you think Pim's thinking right now?
Oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck. Something like that.
Understand.
I reckon he's probably quite upset. Well, I'd say upset. I reckon this isn't how he wanted it to go. Raf has gone off again.
Has he? Oh, for crying out loud. He's having an absolute nightmare as he Let's watch him here.
No.
Let's watch him here coming up into Spoon.
That's storm out of Raffo. This is terrible.
See him here. Looks like yeah, just a late exit to Spoon and Span. Ooh, he got some rear damage out of that as well.
Raphael Grosjean. Anyway,
yeah, I can't really say
right.
much for us.
Let's see what's going on further up the grid. 2.2 second lead now Kep has over Pim. Kep has more fuel, and to be honest, his softs are in better condition than Pim's mediums right this second.
Exactly. Kep pitted a lap later over Pim as well, so Pim doesn't even have the well, Pim's got
Ender's catching Raf.
We might have a problem on our hands here.
They're on the same lap.
1.9, yeah, Raf's obviously got. Actually, no, maybe not. Ender's on better tyres and less fuel.
He's in a class below.
It took it actually
38 minutes in.
38 minutes, 4 laps to go. And Ender could actually win the AM class by actually overtaking some guy in the pro class. That would be absolute humiliation from Raf.
That would be beyond oof.
See her flashing the camera as well. That gap is actually decreasing here. I know Raf's got him in the straights, but Ender might actually have him in the corners. And considering Suzuka's a pretty technical track, well, anything can happen here. Looks like a little bit of a fight going on further down the grid. Let's see if I can pick that up. Was that BPZ? I don't know what's happening here. Oh, 7th and 8th. It looks like Lucas and MLS are having another fight once again. 0.2 seconds is the gap between the two, coming through 130R. I've just realised the name of the 2 consecutive right-handers. It's Degma.
Is that like Ligma?
You're not ligging my balls here. As for... No, okay, fine. As for... Just having a look here. It looks like a good fight between the two. Coming up on the back straight. Flat out through this left-hander. Lucas going very, very wide. Trying to keep the car on the track. He's still behind MLS, but right now he's on... Yeah, Lucas and MLS both on similar condition tyres, but Lucas with more fuel and a softer compound. 3 laps to go. Anyone's game here still between those two. As for RSK, he's currently done his personal best with a 149.2. Not a bad lap. In comparison to Ender, who it looks like a 147.5. Hang on a second. What the hell happened here?
Hmm?
I'm sorry, has Ender pulled a 147.5? Ender's just overtaken Raf. Ender's just overtaken Raf after Degma 2.
Oh, no.
I think Raf just let him through.
Aaron, that's after the pit, the 147.
Ah, that makes sense. Otherwise, you got a 149.9.
Kept running away with it in the final finale race.
He's done very well here. 6 seconds.
RSK currently lapping someone with a bit of a penalty. Ooh, MLS and Luca struggling to get past the Amna.
Yep, RSK with a penalty as well. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of a contact between himself and Nicolas as well. As for RSK, he's currently 7 seconds in behind Raf. That's hard to imagine now. Ender's in front of Raf. He's actually 1.5 seconds ahead. I think it's good. Funnily enough, there might be a little bit of a fight here between the lower class and the upper class. I think Ender's going to have a bit of a fight with Raf for these last 2 laps. What do you think? In fact, it actually looks like Raf's trying to... I'm not sure if... Do you reckon Raf... Yeah, Raf's just pulled into the pits. I know exactly what he's doing. He's going for fastest lap once again. He
did this last time as well.
He did this at Maggiore. Oh, no. I mean... Is he going to have clean air?
Maybe not.
More of a problem here. Lucas still back of class. Oh, come on. It's just like Ender looks like he's just running away with this. 9 seconds is the gap between himself and RSK. And RSK needs this win for the championship. And right now, considering what I've seen so far, it looks like he's currently got the fastest lap in the class with a 149.2 on pole, and with the same and fastest lap puts him with 12 points in comparison to 4 points of... No, sorry, it'd be 5 points. 12 to 5 gives 7. So in which case, RSK will be gaining 7 points over Lucas currently for the end of this race. And the gap between them is 9. So RSK really needs to RSK has to overtake Ender. Ender has to bottle it in this championship. That being said, Ender's very low on fuel. Is he going to make it?
Ooh. He's at the point where if he really wanted to, he could probably pit, but it'd be risky.
No, he shouldn't pit. It's only 10 seconds.
He's just got a fuel save, and his tyres are way better. Dutanito and Pim.
Let's have a look here.
Look.
Final lap as well, as we watch these two coming through Dunlop. Here comes Dotanito on the inside of Pim. Ooh, pretty close between those two. And that being said, that'll be between 3rd and 4th. Thinking about this, though, Pim will actually... Hang on a second. Pim didn't start on pole here, so if Dotanito overtakes, it's going to be between... It's only a 2-point delta here. So Pim is fighting for his championship on the last lap, so if Dotanito overtakes...
Could the reserve driver win the champion?
No, he won't. He won't win the championship.
No way.
He won't win the championship. It's not how it works. He's miles behind. Here comes Dotanito through 130R. Pim playing defensive. If Dotanito overtakes, it looks like Pim and Raf will be tied for the championship. It's going to be tight.
That's what we need.
This is what we need. Oh, Pim getting a tough exit. Here comes Dotanito coming down the back straight. He's going wide. Pim playing defensive. Here comes Dotanito. Side by side, the two drivers. It's going to be close. Oh, it comes Pim! Woohoo! Sweeping
Pim's
across.
got it.
Has Pim got this? Has Pim got this now as they come through the Casio Triangle?
Yeah.
Kepler has won, but it looks like Pim is going to come over and win his 4th or 5th GGRC championship as they cross the line.
From him.
Well done, Pim. Fantastic. And even
That was good.
let's watch Raf here. Because right now, don't forget, he had his fastest lap opportunity. So if Raf got the fastest lap of this race, he would still have... If Raf got the fastest lap of this race and Dotonito overtook, Raf would have won the champ. Well, has it?
Raf's given up.
He has given up. Oh no, he has. He still had a chance. He had a chance, and he's only gone and lost it here. As he watch, let's have a look here. GGRC Ender, who's managed his tyres and his fuel, and comes over to win the GGRC AM class for this race. RSK is going to come across in second. Very unfortunate by him for this race. He's going to come across in second. Is only going to finish 2 points behind Lucas, who will win this. Say though, Lucas has just overtaken MLS on the last lap. In which case he would have held on to that championship anyway, or all those 2 points would have been tied. As you watch Raf come across, in fact Raf's just completely given up. He's being overtaken by the entire AM class here. As we watch Lucas come across 3rd in class, MLS in 4th, and of course Raf is just, Raf, come on, don't cause yellow flags. Raf, come on. Don't be like this. We watch Nicolas cross the line to win the GGRC AM class, or the AM class. Very good race from him. Watching Zenow, in fact. Zenow is going to come across in second. It's not a huge deal from him.
It is if anyone's got a penalty.
So no, everyone else is finished. It's just Raf. It won't make a result to the end of this race. As we watch Leo K come across 3rd in class, so a pretty decent result from him, and we just need to wait for Raf.
Controller down, so we now got to wait 1 minute 4 seconds from cross the line.
Come on, no, you've got to cross. Come on, Raf, come on, just cross at 4 miles an hour. There we go. But Kepler winning the pro class, but Pim winning the championship for the pro class. Very good season. Very good race. Had quite a few, right? Had quite a few here. Quite a few.
Well done, Ender. First of all.
Actually, yeah. Well, as I say, we're going to conduct the interviews now. Well done, Ender. How does it feel putting a dent in RSK's championship hopes? In fact, you've completely ruined them.
Have I overtaken RSK in the championship?
No. The point is, if RSK won that race, because from what we've noticed, he had the fastest lap and he was on pole. So if RSK won and Lucas came 3rd or 4th in class, they would have. If Lucas came 4th or 5th in class. Oh no,
RSK would have won the championship.
No, RSK would have come. I think they would have tied. No, actually, no. Let's think about this here.
Oh, whatever.
Rich left, so Lucas would have had to come in at the back, but he overtook MLS, so he would have won anyway. So I apologise.
I would just like to know if my win was deserved after that lap 1 turn 1 move I did.
I'm not sure.
I thought that was a racing incident because I said it was.
Think so?
It was 3 people coming into a corner 3 wide. You can't really blame a person who goes on the inside or the person that goes in the middle, the person that goes on the outside. None of them are expecting what happened. Do you get where I'm coming from there?
Yeah.
So that's my relatively realistic approach.
Okay, but yeah, you'll have a look later.
I did. But anyway.
That's unfortunate.
Is everyone invited in here?
Sure. Title number 6. No, I think Raffit's 5.
Ender, can you give me a replay?
Yes, I can. Once I close the lobby. So yeah, I'm honestly very happy to end the season like this. I mean, I've had a terrible season, and winning with a 10-second gap, I guess, can't complain. But yeah, not much to say really. Consistency was there. I have no idea how I made no mistakes. Don't ask.
I don't know either.
You did pretty well. You made your way through the pack, and you ended up out the front.
Yeah, but to be honest, it was kind of a miracle, that race, because the pedal gods were with me, and I had no pedal problems.
No way. That's like the rarest thing in history.
Pedal. It's so rare. Like, even yesterday they weren't working, and I had perfect input for the entire race. Like, there was...
RSK, you were mid-class. I kept saying I said some... I don't know. I apologise. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and let me know when the replay's up.
I reckon that is not true.
I say though, no, you would have been, because if Dotanito overtook you at the end there...
yeah, if he did that, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, I know, but the point is, Raf should have kept going, because if in the event that Dotanito overtook you, the delta between you and Raf would have been 2 points.
Been that case.
And in which case Raf should have still had it. I think Raf should have probably still went for it.
Could have, would have, didn't.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but...
Could have, would have, should have.
It's a shame, though. But once again, congratulations on your, what's this, 5th championship?
No, 6th or 7th.
No, you haven't won that. Surely not that
He's
many.
turning into Lewis Hamilton.
Nah, because you have... we worked out before, you got like Season 5, Season 8, and then, what, Season 11
12,
onwards?
13, 14.
I don't think that's 8.
That's 6.
Okay.
Still, very well done. Actually, no, it's 5, isn't it?
But anyway, well done. What did you think going through the race? Were you sure about your strategy? What did you think about Keplero's pace?
The strategy was tricky because, well, I was considering a 3-stop before the race.
Mm-hmm.
The tyre wear was pretty bad, especially with the ballast. It's pretty bad. Duternito was bound to have amazing tyre wear because he is really good at managing the tyres and working the wheel. So I knew he'd catch up by the end of the later stints, but I didn't expect to stay ahead of him. Basically a rewind of last race, except Keplero was in the mix with less ballast, so he had a clean victory there. It looked like I was going to win the entire race, but in the end the mediums really didn't work for me, and he drove right past me.
Okay.
Can we, just saying, before we move on, can we move this to the Ville? Because more people are
I have
invited
RSK to this party, so...
Oh, have you?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh,
yeah, I sent him an invite.
Yeah.
I suppose. That's unfortunate. Sorry, if you want to continue, Vev, with Pim, unless you're done.
Oh, I'm done. You can start the next one.
Yeah.
That's fine. I apologise there. I'll say, Nick,
what did you think of your race?
I say though, congratulations on the championship here. That's and that's your second AM championship, I believe.
Beginner winner.
It is. It's a shameful as hell. I mean, I was expecting a good fight this race because we were equal ballast, equal cars. So
we saw an incident at Spoon, unfortunately for him, and that put him out of the race.
It wasn't that. It was the second lap he went a bit too deep into turn 1 and then he span, and then from that point on I had a 20-second gap to whoever was behind, and with him out of the race I could have not finished and been champion, so I'm still happy I won. It's just, again, not the way I would have wanted it to happen after this incredible season.
It is a little bit of a shame, but I must say you have driven very well throughout this season, and
thanks.
I mean, it's a deserved win, I think. I mean, yeah, sure, Dotanito were close.
Okay, Lovesell wants an invite to the party. Should we just move to Ville?
We should.
Yeah, move to Ville.
Let's move to Ville.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do you still need the replay?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd need one incident and then I've done investigations.
Understandable. Right, just give us a minute, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be with the Ville in just a moment. Hello. Who is in here? Let's just give that a check.
Hello.
Good eye.
Hey.
Right, who have we got here? Yeah, we've just done Nick. RSK, you really had a chance. You actually had a really big chance to win the championship today. Did you know this? I mean, you got it as well, which is well, I'd say, I mean, I suppose you hit your target, but we calculated this earlier in the race. Considering Lucas looked like he had a pretty poor race overall, if he'd finished back of class, were you on pole? I think you were on pole, weren't you? And as far as I saw, you had the fastest lap as well. So you pulling away with fastest lap, win, and all that would have made you tied, or you would have won that championship by 1 point. Would have finished at the back. So I will say you had a chance, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you think you did quite well, considering you finished where you said you targeted. I would reach to him for comment, but unfortunately he's not in this party right now. Unfortunately, I think he's currently going through some replays. Yeah, I think they'll be joining it very shortly. Any further comments?
Thank you very much.
Oh, there we go. Here's Ender. He's joined the party as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been here for a minute.
Oh.
A, Ender progress. B, Arakan, could you move on to Love's Hell maybe?
Is he here?
Someone who had a bit of a rough race. I think he is.
Loves Hell. Hello. That's rather unfortunate for you. What happened?
I don't know. Bad luck. Losing concentration, I don't really know. I went in battle with Nick and we went to the third lap. I got a little bit of dirty air and spun out in T1. So Leo K overtook me. I overtook Leo K back 1 lap later, and half a round later I spun out again in Spoon. My tires were cooked already and my race was really lost. So yeah, whatever. Next season, better season, I hope. So I'm really glad for Nick, you know, he did really great performance this season and we had really nice battles, for sure. Always clean driving, so no regret about the whole season. It's just, yeah, a little bit awful that it is ending like this.
It is a little bit of a shame. Any further comments?
No, not really.
Vev, any questions?
I think he's answered pretty well. Who else is in the party we can talk to? Leo
Raph.
K? Then we'll
Raph.
move on to MLS. Then...
We have Raph. He's in the party. Raph, you had it all to do today. It's unfortunate it had to finish like this. Raph?
Well.
Oh, there you are here.
Yeah. What can I say? It really is a bit of a tough pill to swallow. It just wasn't meant to be today, I've got to be honest. The way I drove, the mistakes and all, it wasn't meant to be.
I still think, though, that you probably still shouldn't have given up, because I know in the end it didn't matter.
I had no chance.
I know in the end it didn't matter.
In the end, I had no chance.
I know in the end it didn't matter, but still, if you pulled off that fastest lap opportunity and Pim fell down that position, you would have still won the championship by a single point. It just seems...
It would have, but the championship was lost at the very beginning of that lap because got through turn 1 alright, and then in the S's I went wide, and that was the lap over immediately there and then. It had to be a perfect lap, really clean there and then. And Pim didn't lose the position. Pim had to lose the position for me to win the championship by a single point. Didn't happen. It was meant to be.
it seemed to have been a very close battle between him and Dotanito right at the end as well.
It was. I saw the positions flicker around a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think really went wrong for you this race then, overall? I know you said you didn't drive well, but was it? Do you think there was a strategy or a lack of practice? What do you think you would do better next time?
Lack of practice, maybe, but I couldn't really do much against a lack of practice. I know this was going to be a disadvantage of mine going into the race. I practiced all day today, as long as I could, and I felt like I was actually getting alright, getting some consistent laps in, and I felt like I was doing great, but the only issue is that I had no strategy coming into the race, and I was really in a bad spot going into the race because I had no strategy, and I knew the softs weren't reliably going to last me more than 5 laps. After 5 laps, the softs would be too dangerous to drive on, and they almost wouldn't make it worth it. So at first I was even thinking a 3-stop. Knew that wasn't going to work. It was going to lose me too much time, and really, to me, I sensed how Pim was driving and how he was practicing. I knew he wasn't going to make a mistake. I knew immediately that he was on a good day. He was having a very good race. So as soon as I went off first time round, it was game over for me.
Devil, sorry, you're having a problem. Sorry, Raph, I didn't catch that last bit.
Well, no, I just said I knew Pim was in a really good, really strong form today. All throughout practice, he was showing up quite well. And as soon as I did the mistake, I knew it was game over for me. And as soon as I did that mistake, cost me, I think, nearly 10 seconds. It was game over, and then the other mistakes were just adding insult to injury.
That's a shame, unfortunately. What I can say is good luck for next season. I can't really say much more for it, really. I don't know. We don't even know what next season's going to be, but I just hope we can
bounce back. Really, I don't know what I can learn from this. Yes, most people would say just learn. Just try and bounce back from this. Try and get the win next season, but I don't know. Like, at this point, I'm just like I'm a little bit downed by all of this because 4 seasons in a row, finishing behind Pim, finishing runner-up to Pim, and now this season I had a dominant run all throughout. Was in front all throughout. Knew it was going to be tough, but I felt like I had it in the bag. But it just got away from me. So now I'm just like, I don't know what I can do. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I can learn from this.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe we should introduce a time limit to...
We probably should. That might be an idea.
To interviews, because we have like 5... We've said we have 5 to 10 drivers waiting for an interview, and...
Yeah, we should probably move down.
If it takes this long, let's say like 2 minutes or something.
And then we can discuss the logistics after the stream.
You have to do it right now.
I know.
Yeah, we can discuss I'm signing off for now, so...
Alright, we'll see you next season. We'll see you next season, Ralph. Anyway, let's move further down the grid. Dotanito. Very good fight between yourself and Pim at the end. Unfortunately, wasn't meant to be. But how do you think that race went overall for you? Also, Vev, unfortunately, your mic is being extremely interfering. So I'm just going to mute you for a time being. Sorry, Dotanito, you were saying?
Yeah, Dara-san's currently not here, so mute him.
I have muted him, yes. Pim, any comments? Oh, he's not here. We'll probably pass that on to him we'll probably pass that on to him after. That's fine. But you were really catching. I don't think we caught that, but sure.
With more fuel and a softer compound.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you might not be racing in the same class as him next season, because we've seen some exceptional battles between you and him in these last few races. You were still very close. So it was still a very close round. Still had some very close fights between you two this whole season. It's a shame we won't be able to see it, but still, we can only expect great things from you next season. Considering what we've seen, I could see some fantastic things coming. That'd be great. Any further comments on the race? Sorry, I'm interrupting. Tyre wear's been exceptional this season. Can confirm, yes, it is incredibly twitchy. That's why I pulled out. It's unfortunate. That's fine. That's understandable. Excellent. Let's move on to Kep. Congratulations on the win for this race. Especially considering you didn't start last race. That's your second win of the season. Very good from you. What do you think was the secret to winning today, you think?
Okay, so yeah, today I had like 2% less ballast than Pim, and I think that made a difference. Though I thought that it wouldn't be as big as it was. I'm not sure if it was a bit slower because of the ballast, because I managed to catch him easily at the end of the second stint.
He was on softs as well.
Yeah, and I was on mediums, so I think like
you did pedal up later.
It's a bit weird, but I haven't actually practiced that much. I have done a few laps on Sunday and then today, but I don't know. I just I did a good race. I didn't make like a lot of mistakes. Yeah, and then I won the race pretty easily. Maybe a bit too easily. I wanted to have a bit of a fight with Pim. So yeah.
Very well done, is all I can say. I mean, again, very well done, and very well done finishing third in class as well. So pretty good overall from you, I'd say. Very well done.
Thank you.
That's fine. Let's move down to Leo K, actually. Third in class. So very good from you, actually. It's a shame. That does sound like a bit of a shame, unfortunately. However, your third place finish did make you finish 1 point ahead of BDZ in the championship. Is that any? 1 point. You're actually only 3 points behind Z now, in fact. So really, you had a little bit of a midfield battle going on there. So really, don't count yourself out. You still had a decent run. Fair enough. That's understandable. Any further comments on the race? Okay, that's understandable. Well, thank you very much. That's fine. Finally, let's move on to MLS. The qualifying seemed unfortunate. What happened there?
Yeah. I kinda missed my breaking point on the aces of Suzuka on my first lap, so I decided to just forfeit this one and go next, but I spun for the second one, so I was just last.
That's unfortunate. There's also, you had quite a bit of a fight between yourself and Lucas throughout this race as well. Any comments on that?
It was a good battle. I think he had the edge because it was always faster, but I tried my best to just defend. I'm not really fast this season, so my objective was just not to crash and have fun. So I did my best to not crash. I was pretty slow, but I almost managed to keep him behind me, so it was pretty fun to defend for the last stint.
That's fair. Any further comments?
No. Congrats to every new champion, and yeah, that's it.
I will send my regards to them. All right, that's sorted. Have I missed anyone? Guess not. So this has been the finale of GGRC's season 14. It's been a great race. It's been a great season, and from that, it is a goodbye from me and a goodbye from everyone else, provided they are still in the party.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll see you guys next season. I left the voice chat. I meant to quit the stream. That's fine. Sorry. It's a goodbye from him. Goodbye from everyone else on from GGRC. See you guys later.